Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my humble home in Livingston, Montana. Okay, this is a gun review, if you will, or a pistol review, or a look-see, or whatever have you. I'm not going to get into all the details on this piece and blah 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 and try to act like I'm some expert with this particular firearm I'm going to show you, because I'm not. All I know is it was good and cheap, and I could afford it, and I bought it. Okay, here's the box. The piece is in here. Hope you can see this. This is the box it comes in. It's a model JCP 40 caliber Smith and Wesson, and it's a high point, and they're made in Ohio. Okay. Anyway, hope you can see the box. It's not very glamorous box that these things come in. You're certainly not getting some polymer case or whatever have you. Anyway, here's the piece right here, but let me set this down for a second so I got some room to work here. And when I bought this, it doesn't come with an extra clip. I bought this extra clip. The sporting goods store here in Livingston happened to have one, so I just grabbed it, all right? So no extra clip. You only get one clip. And you get a bunch of paperwork, of course, there. One thing that's kind of nice is you get a set of ghost strings. You know, if you want to take off the post-ups, you know, the rear sights, which I did. I'll show you that here in a second. And all the rest of this is all your warning paperwork. And they do give you a screwdriver and an Allen wrench and stuff to work with your pistol, especially with that rear sight, okay? And that's really all you get out of this deal. Yeah, a lovely cardboard case, one clip, and a pistol. Now, yesterday I did a video, and it looked terrible because it looked like I was having a lot of trouble with the pistol, not shooting right, which it wasn't shooting right, and misspeeding and different things. The problem is the guy I had helping me loaded up my second clip, and he put 10 rounds in that clip, and there was only supposed to be 9. The way that this piece here works, the simple fact of the matter is you put 9 rounds in this clip right here, and then you jack around into the chamber, and you pull this clip back out again, and you replace that 9th round. That would be 9 plus 1, okay, 10. That's the capacity of this. But don't stick 10 rounds in this single stack 9/11 style, clip, because they'll fit in there, but it'll jam this up. But one thing I want to talk about before I talk about this piece, because like I say, I'm not going over everything. This is just a short review, a few observations since I've owned it and fired it. Okay, one thing I want to talk about is these guys right here. If you can see these they're called A-Zoom. A, big A, Z-O-O-M. A-Zoom snap caps. I highly recommend these, especially on some of these cheaper firearms that help break them in so you're not out burning ammo, jamming, having misspeeds and having ammo jam up on you and all this other kind of stuff. But these things work really, really good. Just remember, A-Zoom, and of course, these are 40 caliber Smith and Wesson to fit this pistol, So I just thought I'd point that out. There's several of these on the market, but I know that these A-Zooms they're made out of metal, and they work the best. They're kind of expensive. I paid like $19 for 5 of them, but they work well. And it allows you to take your piece and dry fire it, like if you want to practice with your, practice getting a side picture, you can drop the firing pin, so to speak, and it won't hurt your firing pin, and it won't hurt your firearm at all. I'm just not going to be jacking around with all this stuff because I'd be here forever and a day, So I thought I'd point that out. So, stick this clip in here like this. And one thing I like about this, some people may not, but this has got a fairly decent bottom, to the clip, And while I'm at it, I realize that there's a lot of people that don't like these high points because they're very, very cheap. If you want to know what I paid for this brand new here in Livingston, I paid $200. And there's a big joke between me and some of my friends. We call these river pistols. Why would it be called a river pistol? Well, you can go fishing with them. If you did something nasty with the thing, you can throw it off in the river. You can use it for a sinker, like if you're fishing and all this other stuff. And they call them burner pistols, because people, I've seen on YouTube where people have set them on fire and done all this kind of stuff. So I love calling this a burner pistol, And then, of course, gangsta pistol, that's another thing. I might as well stop right now and bitch about this, because I'm going to bitch about this. These fools, these idiots, man, I don't even want to, I can always tell somebody that has not been properly trained with a firearm, especially by the way they're holding them. I don't know who invented this crap, but this holding a pistol like this, sideways, I guess it's to look cool. I'm going to tell you what, you don't look cool, you look like a fool. You can't hit the broadside of a barn taking a pistol and doing that. Maybe you think you can, but you can't. You got to get a proper grip on that, just like that, okay? But, there's all kinds of names for this cheap pistol because it's cheap, And then High Point makes, I think, 9mm, 45 ACP. This is a 40 Smith and Wesson, and God knows what else. They make a bunch of other stuff. So I'm not going to get into all the specifics. It does have a 4.5-inch barrel. I can't remember what the weight of it is. It is on a polymer frame, and I really, today I was out shooting it and I didn't have any foul ups at all, unlike yesterday. And so, but this is what this guy looks like. It's a really, really super heavy pistol. And a lot of people don't like these grips on here, but you can get all kinds. There's tons and tons of grips on the market, Here's what the other side looks like. And it's got a blowback system. Works off of what they call a blowback system. But what I did, one of the first things I did was took the post-up back sights off and put these guys on right here. I hope you can see that. These round, the round sights, what they call ghost string. Let me go like this. Yeah, you can see better that way. Well, I think you can anyway. There. All right, there. I'm going to give my big... There we go. That's about as good as you're going to get, as good as you're going to see. But I like them. I've shot, I don't know, 100 rounds, 150 rounds, I can't remember, and I've been using them right along, and I like them okay. They're fine, So, anyway, and then, of course, here's the safety on this, and I'm not even going to get into explaining this safety, because this safety is a real joke on this piece. It really is. I don't even use the safety, I just rack it, jack it, and fire it, And so it is a real heavy piece, but to me it's real comfortable. I like it a lot. It doesn't have a lot of buck and roar. Doesn't have a lot of recoil, and kind of what it is what it is. Like I say, there's a lot of people that just absolutely hate these high points. They think they're ugly, but then I don't care. All I know is I'm throwing a lot of lead and getting a lot of lead downrange for $200. So there you are. Matter of fact, while I'm at this, some of the ammunition, I've tried several different kinds of ammunition, but this stuff right here, I'm just showing this in case somebody needs this information, but this Winchester practice ready, last recoil, train and defend, 180 grain, full metal jacket. This stuff right here really runs nice through that high point, okay? And yesterday I was kidding around because it's a JCP. I was calling it a JC Penny. It's a model JCP, but I was calling it a JC Penny pistol, okay? But this is what, this box of ammo right here, here's what the round looks like, you know. And not too bad of a price either, you know, for, I think, what do we got there if you can see that? $23.99 for 50 rounds, I do believe here. Yeah. $23.99 for 50 rounds, and so I just thought I'd throw this up and show you that, you know, this is what I found so far that's running, you know, pretty well through this piece. Okay, now what else do I want to talk about? Let me set that over there. And lastly, I was just going to show you a few rounds. My buddy and I yesterday, we shot at a box that was full of magazines. I have found out in my years of shooting that if you take a box and you fill it full of magazines end on end, it is a really excellent way of stopping bullets or whatever have you, so you can see the expansion on them. You know, here's one right here, you know. Okay. Here's another one. I'll just kind of do this real quick like, so I don't know if you can see them that well. Here's one that really flattened out. Okay. Here's another one. These are all 180 grain too, by the way. And here's another one. You know, I would imagine my autofocus isn't working all that great, but it doesn't really matter. Here's one that didn't expand too awful well. But anyway, today I was out shooting that pistol and it was smoothing out a little bit, and that's one thing I do know about some of these off-brand firearms. You know, you definitely have a what I would call a break-in period. You know, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're a poor kid like me or whatever have you, you need some home defense, and you just can't spend you know, $800 for the latest Sig Sauer or Glock or whatever have you, I'd give these high points a look, you know. Can't hurt, you know. And like I say, this is a pretty heavy pistol. It's a lot heavier than I own a Glock 20, a 10 millimeter, and this is a lot heavier, you know. But it's also got a, you know, if you can see that end of that barrel, the thickness of that steel, you know. It just uses a blowback system, and, you know, it's a really simple pistol to operate, but so far I like it. And like I say, you can buy these all day long. I give $200 for this, but I know doggone well you could go into a pawn shop or whatever have you and probably pick one of these up for $150, maybe $100 or whatever have you. Okay, this is just a short look, ladies and gentlemen, a few tips on high point 40 caliber Smith and Wesson JCP semi-auto loader. Simple as that. Very well. Okay. Well, that's the end of this movie file. Appreciate you visiting me here in my home in Livingston, Montana. And whatever you do when it comes to firearms, it's always safety first. It's never none of this, oh, look at me, I've got the latest Sig Sauer, I've got the latest, you know, FN or whatever have you. No. None of this crap matters. None of this crap matters. What it is safety first. Very well. We shall see you on down the trail, and adios, my friends. And where's the button to get out of here? I think it's here somewhere.